Hi everyone, today we're going to make another journal cover and we're going to bind a new journal I'm working on, A Time in Africa, for a girlfriend who's going to see her mum over in South Africa in a few weeks time. So this is similar to the last one we made. If you remember, we had a brown paper bag which I've already cut out and we gessoed it. And then we inked and stamped and did all this gorgeous stuff. This time we're going to actually cover the base with a tissue paper, and then we'll do some gessoing after that. So all you need is, I've got my brown paper bag which I've already cut up. I've got this really cool tissue paper, you know, the type that you have flowers wrapped in, or this one came from Which Craft Do You Do, when I made an order, and it arrived and it was lovely packaged in this, and I thought this would be ideal for my journal. I'm using glue stick, and I've got a brayer here as well, which we'll use a little bit later on. So the first part of it, very simple. Brown paper bag. It doesn't have to be too perfectly cut or anything. We just want to get the tissue paper glued on. So I'm just going to, you can use PVA if you prefer, or a wet glue with tissue paper. Just make sure that you do cover it well, so you don't have too much bubbles. If you get bubbles in your tissue paper, what will happen is it'll rip and lift off the paper. So you do need to be stuck down pretty well. There goes my phone pinging away there. Right. And we're going to do both sides. So once you've got that sorted, find your tissue paper. We're just going to stick it down, and it's perfectly fine. It doesn't need to be flat. It can have all that nice wrinkles in it, which definitely gives it a bit more character. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the same to the other side. So I'm going to glue it on this side. Same thing with glue stick. I don't know if you guys have that problem. Do you have that problem when it kind of clumps all on one side? You have to keep moving it around. This is quite a sticky glue stick. I've been trialing all sorts of glue sticks, and at the moment this one seems to be my favourite. It's a Craft Workshop glue stick. I think I got it from like a $2 shop or something like that. Anyway, back to the task at hand. So we've glued all that, and now we're just going to flip it over, and that way it'll be up the same side. You know, because this has got directional bit of writing on it. If I had cut it out as two separate pieces and put it down, knowing me, it would have run the risk of having the writing on one side the right way and the other side not so right. So that is as simple as that, and you can see it's got lots of little I've got a piece there how it's not even glued, it's ripped, but it doesn't matter, because in the finished product, you know how I operate, it'll look quite different. So that is the base of it, and I shall let that dry. I'm actually going to bust out my sewing machine this time, and I'm going to sew a journal cover. I'm not going to make you sit through it, but we'll have a pop of colour on this one. So I'm just going to let this dry now, and I'll come back to you. I'm just going to pop you on hold, and we'll be back in a sec once I've dried this off. Okay, back. So it's dry now, and you can see I've sort of cut it out a little bit better now that it's dried off and won't make my scissors so gluey. And I've just used a distressing scissors, cut around the edges. And now what we're going to do is, it's quite a bright colour and I want to just knock it back a little bit. So what I'm going to do is get some gesso. I'm trying out this new gesso. I'm not sure if I like it or not yet, but we'll see how we go. Get my brayer, get a little bit on my brayer. Again, if you wanted to, you could use a brush like we did last time, but I find the brayer, I just want to kind of just touch it so that it just makes it a little bit more rusticy looking and not so definite. And then what you can see is the gesso does stick to the some of the marks, and you just keep going until you see it going over your creases and things. Gives it quite a cool effect, and it just knocks back that the colour a little bit more. Again, if you want, you can use acrylic paint, white acrylic paint, you can use gold acrylic paint, you could use black acrylic paint. I'm happen to be found this paper which will tie in with my theme really nicely, tissue paper, but I have done before just white tissue paper over brown newspaper or craft paper, and what it does is it just gives it a bit of a texture as well. Again, you don't have to gesso, you can just leave it as it is. And as you can see, it's just picking up bits and pieces. You can see all the nice lines and cracks and things through it, so it gives it a little bit of interest. So when you're happy with it, I'm pretty happy with that. Don't want too many solid looking lines in there. The next step will be to let it dry completely. So that is basically where we've got to. I'm going to let this dry. I'm also going to bust out my sewing machine. I've got a signature all ready to go, and I'm going to sew that as well. And then I thought we could come back together and I will bind the journal and you can watch me do that process. So I'll be back very shortly.